Problems 22 through 24 all involve this massive ping pong tournament, which starts with 65,536 participants. It's apparently a single elimination tournament, so half the players are eliminated each round. And we're going to start this one with our general formula for an exponential function. Y equals a times b to the x, where a is the initial value and b is the growth factor or decay factor. If b is less than 1, it's going to be a decay factor. If it's greater than 1, it's going to be a growth factor. And the growth or decay factor just means what are we multiplying by each time to get the next number in the series. And so for this one, for number 22, we're asked to write a formula to model this, and it's so P of R, the number of players remaining after R rounds. So the number of players is a function of the number of rounds that have been played. And our initial value, our A, is going to be 65,536. That's how many players we have after 0 rounds of play. So 65,536 is our initial value. And then our growth factor, or in this case our decay factor, is 1/2. After each round, we're multiplying the number from the previous round by 1/2. So that's our growth factor, our decay factor, and then our R goes up here. So after each round, we're going to have half as many players as we had the round before. All right, so this is, for number 22, this is B. P of R equals 65,536 times 1/2 to the R power. All right, now 23 asks us to use this model to determine how many participants remain after 10 rounds of play. So we're just going to plug in 10 for R. We get P of 10 equals 65,536 times 1/2 to the 10th power. And if we plug that into our calculator, this is going to be 64. We're going to have 64 players left after 10 rounds. So that's D for 23. All right, now for 24, we could just keep experimenting with this, keep plugging in numbers until we get to the end. Or we could solve this using logarithms. Let me show you how we would solve this with logarithms. So we've got P of R equals 65,536 times 1/2 to the R power. We're going to plug in 1 for P, because that's how many players are going to be left when we've determined our champion is 1. We're going to narrow this all the way down to 1 player. And we've got 65,536. It's 1/2 to the R. So we're trying to solve for R. Let's first divide by 65,536 on both sides. And so we get 1 over 65,536 equals 1/2 to the R power. Now we can rewrite this as a log. We get log base 1/2 of 1 over 65,536 is equal to R. And then we can plug this into our calculator. Log base 1/2 of 1 over 65,536. And we find that R is 16. It's going to take 16 rounds to determine our champion.